objectives of the speech.
Chris's manual objectives for his first speech are to begin speaking before an audience and to discover speaking skills he already has and some that might need attention. His time is 4 to 6 minutes.
Chris has been a member of the club since August of this year, and he served previously as Toastmaster, Table Topics Master, and other functionary roles. During the day, Chris works in digital marketing. In addition to the manual objectives, Chris's personal objectives are to speak clearly, to use body language, and to not rely on his notes. Please welcome Christopher Serio, estimated profit, Christopher Serio.
Thank you so much, Harris. I'm sorry I missed the table topics. I'm a big music buff, song lyrics, I would love that.
And I check.
All right. So, for my icebreaker, I want to take a stab at telling you the story of how I came to be in San Francisco, how I fell in love with California, and why I'm meant to be here, so to speak. Before we get into that, though, I'm going to give you a brief synopsis of who I am personally and professionally. I grew up on the East Coast in a town called Amherst, about 2 hours west of Boston. I went to the University of Massachusetts at Amherst and graduated from there in 2005. Shortly thereafter, moved to Boston, worked in event planning for about 3.5 years, decided maybe there's something more out there, wanted to get out to California. Ended up coming to San Francisco, and this past May received my MBA in marketing from the University of San Francisco. Former event planner, current digital marketer, Christopher Serio in 1 minute or less. So let's go back to December 2007, the day that I knew I was going to come to San Francisco, the day I absolutely fell in love with California. I'm at SFO on the monorail, coming around the bend, about to get off the cart at my terminal, and Terrapin Station comes on in my earphones. It's the first tune, Estimated Profit. I don't know if you ever heard the chorus of the song or if any of you are Grateful Dead fans, but the chorus goes something along the lines of California, a prophet on the burning shore, California, I can see at that golden door. Once I heard those lyrics, I'm getting off of the cart, I knew I had to be here. I was destined to be here. I had a plan in place, hadn't quite come to fruition yet, but I just had to get it done. So before that, before I ever knew I was going to come back to grad school, go back to school, it's December 2006, snowstorm in Boston, big surprise during the winter, watching the Pats play the Bills, John with my roommates about sports, about business, about bars, so on and so forth. And I say, you know, I've been thinking about my career, I think I want to go back to school, I'm thinking about maybe getting an MBA. One of my roommates, he's supportive, he's like, oh, do it, it'll be good for you, whatever, get your butt kicked for a while. My other roommate, he laughs at me. He literally starts to laugh at me, he says, Chris, you are so full of it. You have a brain half full of beer right now. You're going to wake up tomorrow morning. You are not going to do anything about this. You're going to go to work. You're going to be shoveling out parking spaces and blocking them off with road cones for a very long time. It's something that's only people in Boston understand. It's another speech. So I wake up the next morning. Don't do anything about it. He was right. I didn't really think I would do anything about it. About 3 months go by, another snowstorm in Boston, no football season, so we're watching the Star Wars trilogy. And right at the end of Empire Strikes Back, right when Luke finds out that Darth is his daddy, my roommate says to me, I knew you weren't going to do this. I look at him, like, what the hell are you talking about? I did the dishes, why are you yelling at me? I didn't do anything. He's like, no, grad school, I knew you weren't going to go. So we start jawing back and forth, we get into a little bit of an argument. I insult his mom, he insults mine, we move on. The next morning, though, I have a list of schools, and I give it to him when I wake up, and I'm like, you know what, Adam, in 3 years, I'm going to call you. I'm going to graduate from one of these schools, and I'm going to tell you what for. I'm going to tell you that I actually got it done. He smiled, he's like, you know what, I hope you're right, I really do. So now it's December 2007, and my GMATs are done, I'm starting my applications for grad school, and I'm actually making headway in this process. I head to Seattle for business, and my girlfriend goes to San Francisco to meet up with some of her friends. I end up traveling down south to San Francisco after Seattle, fall in love with the city. I'm at SFO, listening to the Grateful Dead. The plane's taking off, and I think to myself, man, I can't wait to move to California. But then I also think to myself, when I'm saying goodbye to my friends, my family, it's going to suck. It's really going to be difficult. So, spring 2008, I'm done with all my applications. I go to an 80s party and I wear that Tom Cruise risky business outfit. So, just sans the denim. In case you wanted the vision. Next morning, nursing a hangover, I go to the jazz brunch at Davis Square. Drinking some Guinness with my roommate, eating some pancakes, listening to some good jazz music, and he hands me an envelope. I'm like, what the hell is this? What are you doing? So it's this kind of funny shaped envelope, a little thicker than the typical rejection letter. I'm like, oh shit, I may get into grad school. My hands start shaking. I rip open the envelope and I found out I got into the University of San Francisco. I worked my ass off for a good year and a half, studying for the GMAT, going through the applications, and it happened. I have a plan to get to California, so it's actually going to happen. Packing sucks. Saying goodbye to people, that's even worse. And, you know, it turns out it was really hard making the move, and school really kicked my butt, but it was the best decision I ever made for myself. I ended up getting through the program, graduated. I think differently. I've expanded my professional network. I have more confidence now, and I'm able to, you know, do Toastmasters and things like that, and I'm able to go out and get a job and all those sort of things that I didn't always have confidence with beforehand. So now it's May 20th, 2010. I'm sitting at commencement and bored out of my mind, and I start to think to myself, and I start to chuckle a little bit, like, my God, I have to call my friend back home, and I have to thank him, because if he didn't challenge me that day in December 2006? Yeah, December 2006. If he didn't say, there's no way you're doing this, I would have never gone to California. I would have never graduated from grad school. I would never be standing here. And, well, I owe him a huge thank you. So that's how I got to California.
I'm surprised after hearing your 2-minute special that you didn't come to blows with your friend at the end of the fight. Because if you were here last week, he gave a speech about the first time he got knocked out boxing. So. All right.